for your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6. It's Scalzo and Brust.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the
It's a
Avenue.
party, baby.
This is Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob
It's a
Ultra
party, baby.
on 94.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
It's a party, baby. Woo! It's a party, baby.
Happy Thursday! Welcome to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. He's Ben Brust. I'm Greg Scalzo. You, the Scalzo and Brust family, calling, texting 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Did Kanye West get remarried?
What? Yes, he did.
Had no idea. Bianca Sensori?
Yeah. You're looking at the picture of him wearing shoulder pads in New York City?
I am. So for those that aren't watching in the stream, I got here perfectly on time and sat down in the seat that Homer was on. And Homer signs out of Twitter so that nobody tweets from him. We all try to do that. And I've just got the Explore page up on Twitter, like not signed in anywhere. And the post is just him, Kanye, in shoulder pads with his quote-unquote new wife, Bianca Sensori, and I had no idea that he was remarried. Didn't they just get divorced?
I mean, relatively.
You could tell me that was 4 years ago. You could tell me that was 4 months ago.
You know who
No
you're
idea.
asking right now? I have no idea. But I will say, real quick, Greg, if I may, you were right. You were right. I don't even know his name. I was going to say Matthew. Is it Michael Block?
Michael Block.
Look over your left shoulder right now. He is all over the TV, +2. Tied for 89th at the Charles Schwab.
Did you hear what that dweeb said about him?
If he had Rory's driving
He'd
distance.
be the greatest golfer in the world. Like, he sucks.
Give Greg a round of applause.
Thank you. I spotted that a mile away.
I mean, that was pretty good.
And it was a nice story. We treated it like the greatest story ever told.
I mean, he no joke. When you block a shot, it goes to the right. He just pulled one to the left in a par 5, 650 yards. So he's going to be +3 because he's got no distance. And we're covering this on the Charles Schwab. I don't care about the Charles Schwab. And I'm sorry I even brought it up, but you made such a good point about Michael Block, that it needed to be discussed quickly.
Yes, it did. Aaron Rodgers continues to impress in New York as he is showing his leadership, the sort of teammate that he is, the character that we all saw in Green Bay. And Chris Mad Dog Russo appearing on the Adam Shine Show on Mad Dog Radio on Sirius XM. Mad Dog talked a little bit about what Rodgers winning a Super Bowl in New York would mean.
Rodgers talked about it on Shine on Sports.
Watching the 30 for 30 on
That's what I meant.
the 86 Mets, but I really loved Kevin Mitchell. And Kevin was on the 86 Mets. He was a rookie, and he had the second hit of the inning and actually scored the tying run on the wild pitch when Mookie Wilson was at bat. But the reason I'm telling the story is, the Mets fans, many Mets fans are Jets fans. Obviously, the Jets, used to be in Long Island, and a ton of fans from that area, and you see just the reaction from the Mets fans was so incredible during that time. And many people don't know the entire story, but they were down 3-2 and came back in that last game and were able to pull it off, down 2 runs in extra innings in the 10th there on the Buckner error, which actually put them ahead to win the game 6-5, and then came back in the 7th and won the World Series. But just the reaction from the fans was so classic. And just you realize how special it would be to win a championship anywhere, obviously, but I think especially here in New York with a team that hasn't been in the playoffs in 12 years and obviously hasn't been back to the Super Bowl since Broadway, Joe.
Say what you want about Rodgers right now. He is crushing it with just gushing these fans to love him. He's talking about the 30 for 30 about the Mets. He's talking about how, like, the way he changes his tone, talking about how special it is. And when he talks about walking by the one Super Bowl trophy, he is trying to get that fan base to love him right away, which is dangerous, but also smart. Smart because if he's great, he will be beloved. He'll get whatever he wants. And dangerous because if he stinks, they don't care about anything he's doing. But he's winning again, we did the Goody Rodgers PR battle. It's not a battle. He's just winning his cordial, what am I looking for? The
PR tour.
Yeah, like his car wash right now. He's getting all New York fans to love him, and it's smart. Like he's playing to all the egos of Mets fans and trying to bring the same sort of vibe and energy of this is what we're trying to build with the Jets. And I think it's smart, and I think he's calculated with this.
He's calculated with it, but again, everyone's going to act like he's doing this for the media. Like nobody is going to give him credit for actually caring. Like, do you all think this is just a massive lie? And he just decided, I'm going to do my research on Mets so that I can make this point on this specific radio? Like,
I do.
Yeah.
Greg, you don't think he watched the 30 for 30 so he could talk about it in a way that made Jets fans love him more?
I think he's a sports fan. I think he understands what that meant. He's of that era as well in terms of he's a sports fan. Like he's somebody that's going to understand what it means for a city like New York that hasn't had a successful football team, or at least for the Jets fans, since Broadway, Joe. And I think that he's a student of the game. He's a student of history in multiple respects. And I think that, he sincerely understands what's being put on him now. And I think he's embracing that challenge. Like Green Bay was Starr, then Favre, and he wanted to carry the Favre thing into Rodgers' era. The Jets, he basically is being asked to be Favre. He's basically being asked to usher in a championship after they haven't won one since the 60s. And I think he understands what that would mean to the city because he understands what Brett Favre meant to Green Bay. Like, why do we always have to assume the worst with Aaron Rodgers? Like,
the timing is a little. Come
do
on.
You all
is
think
the timing
that
not odd,
do you
Greg?
all think that he doesn't have like a sincere bone in his body?
Yeah. I mean, what? Are you pretending right now, Greg? You doing a bit? Like
there is
what about Aaron Rodgers comes off as genuine? He talked about in this interview how he watched that 30 for 30 in like the past couple of weeks.
Of course.
So he could say all that stuff. So he could show that he
you're
has
making it seem like he's just doing it for the fans. You don't think he feels any of that?
No.
You don't think there's a lick of authenticity?
No.
See, but that's the thing is that tells me everything I need to know about what your opinion is.
Yeah,
it's
and
just automatic.
everything I need to know about yours. That anything Aaron Rodgers is.
It's
gonna
not
do,
anything. I'm not saying that he's the king of the world. My point is that
You might
there's
as well.
some authenticity there. Where as far as him just saying that, the immediate response being, "Oh, that's all BS," is such a contrived narrative. Like, it's tired at this point, and I'm excited for him being excited, and I'm excited for Jets fans being excited, and you automatically have to go to the most negative place as you normally do with this stuff because you despise Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
But I know where you stand on it, and I respect it, and I understand why. It just is like, do I think that he's doing this? Do I think he's maybe timesing himself by 2 and maybe emphasizing things a little bit more? Yes. But do I think that authentically he feels that and does? Like, you can't have it both ways and say all the pressure's on him to win and then be like, but when he talks about the importance of winning, it's all BS. Because if he doesn't feel the importance of winning, then why is there pressure there? He just doesn't care. He just wants people to like him. Like, it's absurd.
I think part of what's happening right now, Greg, is Packer fans. Tausch always hits on the 5 stages of grief. Like they want to be moved on, but because there's an element of uncertainty with Jordan Love, when Rodgers is gushing and having fun, he's not only winning the breakup. This is Josh DiMaggio running to Aaron Rodgers' Instagram page to make sure he's not having fun, and then when he is having fun, convincing himself that. Oh, he's not. This is all fake, right? Like we don't have him anymore, so this can't be real. Now, I do agree with Josh in the fact that like he watched this simply to be able to speak more closely to Jets fans and relate more. I don't think that's a bad thing, personally. I think that's a good thing.
So you're saying he moved to a new city and started a new
I
job,
would do the same
and
damn
he's
thing.
learning about that.
I started by saying I think it's a smart move. Josh just is like, it's not genuine. He sucks, he sucks, he sucks.
Yeah, but Josh has been consistent on that for a very long time. So I'm never going to change Josh's opinion on that. Now, I do also think, and Green Bay fans won't enjoy hearing it, but like him winning a Super Bowl for the Jets would completely redefine what his legacy is in a meaningful way. And I think that he would supersede just being the next in line of great quarterbacks for the Green Bay Packers. And I think that he understands that. If he cares about his legacy, him winning a Super Bowl in New York for that franchise, being the first one since Joe,
if
Broadway
I hear
Joe won it.
one more time out of his mouth, though, I mean, goodness gracious.
Why?
Again, it's the right thing to do. I'm just saying he's overplaying the Broadway Joe thing.
It's the one great quarterback they've had in the organization. He wants to be the new Broadway Joe. He's Broadway Aaron.
My point is, again, I don't blame him for it, is he's reaching the Mikowski line, over the Mikowski line Packer fans, the 70s and 80s guys that appreciate Bart Starr and all that. He's reaching those Jets fans by saying Broadway Joe.
Jets fans from age 3 to age 300 all love Broadway Joe. He's the only thing they can celebrate. Literally the only thing they can celebrate. And I think when you take a look at what this season is ultimately going to become, Aaron Rodgers at some point will be wearing a fur coat. He will.
Is that because Broadway Joe did?
Sorry, I don't know how to help you here, Greg.
Yes.
For real?
He's like famously like
Google Joe Namath and tell me how many images it takes to get the fur coat.
Like back in the 60s, it was kind of like counterculture Broadway Joe versus...
First 3 pictures, he's in a suit. Seems anti-fur coat. 5th picture, oh, that's a massive fur coat.
See, 5 pictures in.
All right, and then he's shirtless with
He was a sex symbol in the 60s.
I can see why.
Going up against crew cut Johnny Unitas.
Yeah, I like it. Aaron Rodgers is kind of like Broadway Joe in a way.
Are you looking at him in the fur coat as an old guy?
Yeah, but now I found a picture of him young.
Yeah.
Oh man, he makes chest hair look good.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. John in the 414 says Rodgers should do a pantyhose commercial. Ron in the Key said there was 0 chance Ben was going to know that fur coat reference. Matt from Milwaukee says, Greg, just go buy your Jets number 8 jersey. What we are sick of is talking about Rodgers. He will never win a Super Bowl for the Jets because he's the most overrated playoff quarterback in the history of the NFL. 262 says, when ACR, Aaron Charles Rodgers, did a radio show with Wildy, Jason's questions were random. I didn't hear this New York interview, but how random was that question? What are we doing here, guys?
They're trying to get into the psyche. They're not happy that he's having fun.
Mark in Watertown says Greg is turning into a stage 5 Aaron Rodgers clinger.
How? He just Greg, kid, riddle me this. Or did you not declare yourself as someone who believes in Jordan Love?
I'm a Jordan Love believer, but like again, I think the idea of just he's so overrated, he stinks. Like, it's interesting to watch Packers fans bash Aaron Rodgers at this point. And I hope that one day they'll come around to recognize the greatness that he brought to the organization. And again, 3-4 years ago, people were talking about him as the greatest Packer quarterback to ever play. Talking about him rivaling Brady as the greatest football player to ever play and the greatest quarterback to ever play. And now he's the most overrated playoff quarterback in history. He sucks. He's calculated. He's miserable. Get him out of our face. And we're happy that he's gone.
And when you make arguments about Rodgers that actually make sense, the last and final straw is always, well, he's got issues with his family. And that's when you're like, all right, whatever. Like you're there's no convincing you of otherwise. One thing we have to do, though, I started by talking about this. I am changing the TV. I am not giving views to the Golf Channel to show me Matthias Block go bogey on a par 5, and it's literally all they show. It's driving me nuts. I can't look at that anymore.
We call that the Tausch effect.
What's that?
It's all about Michael Block.
That's right. Yeah. Tausch is a big, support the top 15 guy.
Greg in the 262 says, regular season only, Rodgers. That's all that needs to be said.
Boom. Roasted.
800-990-3776. We'll open up the phone lines. We'll talk with you. The Scalzo and Brust family are Jets fans delusional. We'll hit that next. Scalzo and Brust presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
35, the minimum age required to become president of the United States. Don't you learn some of this stuff?
Well, I mean, I don't pay attention to that, but I do know 35.
That's the boring stuff.
Scalzo and Brust.
I knew 35 because I grew up wanting to be the president. I would have been brilliant.
Instead,
You still can be, Ben. You're not even at the minimum age yet.
My intelligence might be questioned.
At what points in your life did you realize, hey, I might not be up for this position of president of the United States?
My first ACT.
Scalzo and Brust. Available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
We have some slowdowns along westbound 94 coming right out of the Marquette interchange all the way through the stadium right now. From downtown to the Zoo interchange will be a 13-minute ride. Southbound 43 on and off the brakes a bit just south of Capitol Drive heading down past Locust. Westbound 894 backing up out of the Mitchell interchange all the way to about 68th Street. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Mainly clear, a low of 45. Tomorrow, sunny skies, a high of 61 at the lake, 68 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor. If it's a celebrate or tailgate, when you're gonna recreate upstate. If it's a holiday, birthday, any date, you can save at Discount Liquor.
Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. It's time to stock up for your Memorial Day weekend celebrations. Whether you need a couple of cases, a cold half barrel, a great bottle of wine, your favorite craft beer, or hard-to-find liquor, you'll find it at Discount Liquor, all at the lowest prices in town. Visit us at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow in Maine in downtown Waukesha. Voted best liquor store in Milwaukee again. Have a happy and safe Memorial Day weekend from all of us at Discount Liquor.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings Discount Liquor.
Check out all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Even when you think you know what's going on, you can never be too sure.
I liked my analogy. I thought it was wonderful.
It's so confusing.
Packers, nonsense, chaos.
He's saying that people don't dislike Giannis, they just don't understand Giannis. And it's like when you see somebody wearing a different outfit and your first instinct is to be like, what a weird outfit.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Why couldn't you have said it that succinctly? Because I'm not real smart.
Morning 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
Yeah, they're football guys, but they don't shy away from the big topics of the day.
We won a championship, and my dad brought me 8 chips to eat on the drive because he wouldn't stop for a snack.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of truth in that. Just imagine if we lost. He wouldn't even gotten those chips.
Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee. You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
Costs a lot to win.
Boy, did I need a Grateful Dead Thursday. What do we got today, Joshy?
This is the Grateful Dead live at Fox Theater from May 18th, 1977.
If you don't know, that's fine, but where is Fox Theater?
It usually says right here. I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
We're 15 days away from Scalzo and Brust Dead and Company.
That's it?
Yeah, right?
Whew.
It is
the 9th or 8th.
2 Fridays.
I have to start training.
Well, how can I get in the regimen?
Just cardio. I dance the entire time, so I just need to, work on the cardio a little bit. Make sure the endurance is
Well,
there.
I'm not a dancer, so I'll have to find another way to practice.
Oh, you'll be grooving.
dancing.
You'll be grooving.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
This
You'll be
booty's
dancing
going to be bopping?
Justin from Milwaukee chimes in 800-990-3776. Open up the phone lines for you. The Scalzo and Brust family says Rodgers is second all-time in touchdown passes and has a passer rating of 100 in the playoffs. Does he deserve some blame for some of the losses? Sure, but you simply hate the guy and aren't using any critical thinking skills if you think he was terrible in the playoffs.
It's funny because when we do the quarter wins and losses are on our QB stat thing, everyone does it when it works in their argument, right? Like Rodgers' playoff record, I believe, is like something around 500. It's like 10 and 11, something like that. And so if you want to point at that and blame Rodgers, great. But you could also go through the years and point blame at different things in each game. There are some games where he's held more accountable, where he should be held more accountable than others. Obviously, you can point to the last playoff loss that the Packers had. That one stings. But there also were opportunities in the defense let him down in 2014. Like, you can do this all you want. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback that it still baffles me that since Packer fans, basically what it feels like is they're living in south of the Mikowski line. And they're forgetting that there is another side of this if Jordan Love is not the guy.
262 chimes in and says, I'm rooting for Rodgers 100% to do well with the Jets. I like the Jets fans show appreciation that Rodgers has been denied for the last few years.
That feels like Dale in Partyville chimed in with that.
No, that wasn't Dale. That was 262. The same person that was talking about the questions that were asked on that radio show. Now, I do think it's interesting because Jets fans are totally in that honeymoon period with Aaron Rodgers right now. Diana Rossini, a noted Jets fan, Mike Greenberg, talked a little bit about the Aaron Rodgers effect this morning on Get Up. Here's what they said earlier today on ESPN.
And here's what I think. You know what? Let's not play the sound we were going to play here for a minute. Bring the guys in because I want to talk about this, and then we'll get to that later. Rodgers was on with Adam Shine yesterday, and he said some interesting things about a 30 for 30. That's interesting unto itself. But this is the area I want to live in here because I'll tell you what this is reminding me of, Dominique Foxworth. This is reminding me of when Tom Brady got to Tampa, which I think is exactly what the Jets were shooting for. Now, in that circumstance, they had an extraordinarily talented team. They needed two things. They needed a good quarterback, and they needed someone who knew how to win to sort of put together whatever pieces of it they didn't already have. And he had to do it on high school fields and all that stuff because of COVID and everything else. But in this circumstance, the Jets are getting that, and I don't think we were assured of that. I mean, how many conversations did we have about, Rodgers is going to be a great player, but is he going to be all in? Is he going to be the leader that they need? All that kind of stuff. At least so far, I think that the signs have been even better than my wildest expectation might have been.
800-990-3776, the number to get into the show. Greeny talking there glowingly about what they've received from Aaron Rodgers. And it is interesting to me to hear like a new perspective, because I do think sometimes you don't know exactly what you have. And the Packers had a guy who was, by all accounts, the leader of a team who had a lot of success. Didn't get it done ultimately in the playoffs. You can put that blame on him. I certainly do for some years. I don't for others. I can make I can discern the difference between those years. But do you think that there's a little bit of delusion in Jets fans as far as what they feel like they're getting in Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, if it goes, yes, simply because Greeny is doing the comp to Tampa right now. Like Tom Brady, I hate to say it, had won 6 Super Bowls. And I know this is part of the Rodgers hasn't won in the playoffs argument, but we're talking about the greatest of all time. We're talking about someone who had proven it 6 years over the past 20 years, going to a team that I think from a comp standpoint, if we want to do this, I think the defenses are both very good. What Tampa had, what the Jets have. But the Jets' offense of weapons are nowhere near what Tampa had. And plus, when you add in Tom Brady, it is an extra element of a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Now, Rodgers has won one, but for a franchise that has not been to the playoffs for 12 years, to think you're going to go from a losing culture to a Super Bowl winning team, that's where you lose me. Because
But when did he say that? He didn't. We're all projecting.
But when he's comparing to Tampa, that's when I automatically go that he's thinking they're Super Bowl.
But he's comparing it to Tampa in the sense that, like, Tampa grew up because they got somebody who actually knew how to be in a room and have a conversation, and that's what he feels like he's getting with Aaron Rodgers. He didn't say, oh, that means they're going to win the Super Bowl. Tampa that year could have easily lost to the Packers. Had Aaron Rodgers done better with those 3 interceptions, and Matt LaFleur
Matty Mouse.
Had
Matty Mouse it.
Had taken him another chance, or Kevin King didn't blow coverage against Scotty Miller. Like, I don't think that there's a guarantee of, oh, that means they're winning the Super Bowl. I think there's a lot of projection there because everyone wants to make fun of Jets. I think, honestly, Jets fans are just happy they've got an adult in the room and a quarterback who knows how to actually operate as a quarterback should. And say whatever you want about Aaron not showing up to OTAs, whatever you want to do to tear the guy down. He's good in a room. He understands football. He knows what he needs to do to be successful. He knows what the other guys around him need to do to be successful. That's why he's been successful. This doesn't just happen because he's got a rocket attached to his right shoulder. It happens for a number of reasons. And I think being so dismissive of that is disingenuous. I also think it's disingenuous to say, if you get Aaron Rodgers, that means you're going to win the Super Bowl. I didn't hear that from Greeny. I think that's more of a projection. I think that there's steps where Jets fans are just happy they have somebody who knows how to operate, given the fact that they've dealt with the crap they've dealt with the last decade.
And all I was trying to get at is when you say that reiterates the point I'm trying to make of, like, the Super Bowl obviously should be the goal, but there is an element of growing up together, especially with that young team. They're going to have to learn how to win. You don't just go from 12 years of sucking to winning a Super Bowl. To me, it's somewhere in the middle in year one. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to play for 2 years for the Jets, but they're not going to win a Super Bowl next year. Their goal should be to learn how to win as a franchise and as an organization with that leader, then do it the year after.
Look, Aaron Rodgers isn't close to what Tom Brady is, especially in terms of leadership, but Brady had the same challenge in Tampa. He had to teach that team how to win. They didn't have the best start. They came around. They figured it out. They clicked at the right time. He had a rookie offensive lineman. He had wide receivers that had never been in a successful team before. He had a lot of guys that hadn't won there. So, like, they might have been had more of a veteran presence. That
talent on the offensive side.
They had talent on the offensive side. Absolutely. More proven talent. No doubt about it. But the idea that, like, oh, well, there's no way the Jets aren't going to win a Super Bowl. Do I think it's likely? No. Do I think they're the best team in the AFC? No. But this team is a much better team than they were. And I have to imagine if you told Jets fans, hey, you're ultimately going to lose a first-round pick, but you're going to get to play in the conference championship game, even if they get that far, they would take that in a heartbeat. You're going to be competent. Your team's going to be fun to watch. You feel like you're going to have a chance to win every week.
I agree. I just think that is the peak based off of, again, I definitely projected and overtook what Greeny had said, but as soon as I think it's very telling when a Jets fan who sounded like my brother Jonathan calling in to say the Bears were going to win 10 games, there's an element of like this like young sports fan speaking when I hear Greeny, when immediately he goes to talking about Tampa Bay. That was really hard to do, and it only happened because Tom Brady was the quarterback. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to make this team fundamentally better in so many ways, but pipe down in the Super Bowl. Jets fans are dumb.
Here's what Diana Rossini had to say, since we only heard the Greeny part, in response to Greeny on Get Up earlier today on ESPN.
What has Aaron Rodgers done inside this chambers there? And then finally, what has Aaron Rodgers done inside this building? He has championed the messaging from head coach Robert Saleh and GM Joe Douglas. They are all on the same page. And here's what you always hear about from these great quarterbacks. They're not just players, they're coaches. And you shouldn't overlook the power of that, right?
Yeah.
So many coaches that I talk to in this league want to have their players take the accountability. I think of Teddy Bruschi all the time talking about the Patriots back then when they were winning all those championships. Bill didn't have to press those guys to be leaders. The players held each other accountable. And now there's a player in this Jets facility that is holding the players accountable around him. We're 4 weeks in.
Right.
It's happening already.
And that's something that Aaron Rodgers said on that podcast with Aubrey Marcus, where he talked about how great locker rooms, the best locker rooms he's been in, have an element of real accountability versus fake accountability. The idea that fake accountability is you need to make weight on a Thursday. You don't do the right things all week, but you fast before you have to make weight. Real accountability, you're doing things right all of the time, even when people aren't looking. And he said that's the difference between the winning locker rooms I've been in and the losing locker rooms I've been in. And you're damn right. He talked about it all season. LaFleur talked about it all season. The young players last year talked about it all season. They had a lot of guys who were doing a lot of fake accountability, who had to work on practice habits, who weren't that mature. Aaron Rodgers, whether you like him or not, is that guy that is going to hold his teammates accountable and bring leadership and maturity into a locker room.
He's got an opportunity because guess what? Like that franchise is green to accountability and success. And whether you think he stinks to the playoffs or not, he's been able to drive success and playoff appearances. So he's got an opportunity to put his footprint out there, and it seems like it's working.
He's all about accountability until you point it at him.
Oh, here we go, Joshy. Coming from the guy that probably until, 2 years ago would have been like, if it wasn't for the defense, if he had a different defense or coach, he would have won 12 Super Bowls. Because I was on these airwaves for a decade hearing from every Packer fan that it's not Aaron Rodgers' fault. Cool. Thank you. That it's not Aaron Rodgers' fault that he only had one Super Bowl win. That if he had Bill Belichick as his coach, if he had more top 10 defenses, that he would have won as many Super Bowls, if not more, than Tom Brady. And the wins have shifted, right? We learned more about Aaron. People don't like Aaron. Packers fans have turned on him. And now all of a sudden it's come back to, well, no, this is all Aaron's fault now after all these years, where if he was a better leader in a lot of ways, yes, I do think that the Packers would have won more. But if he wasn't as good of a leader as he is, then the Packers wouldn't have won as much. I'm not saying he's the leader that Brady is. I think what Brady has that Aaron doesn't is the willingness to be called out in front of the team and in public. But he also grew up with that. Packers fans, Packers media, Packers coaches, they always made excuses for Aaron, and he grew up in that bubble. And I think that, that has affected the way that he's perceived. And I think, Josh, you're right. He wasn't accountable for many years for the lack of playoff success the way he should have been. Now I think he's held too much to account for the lack of playoff success. And I think that's the shifting trade winds in terms of the perception of him as a player.
You gave a long answer there. The first part, you talked about how I was once the person before 2 years ago that would have said it. I'll agree with you, but I think there is growth that happens, and there's change in perception and maturity and admitting that maybe I got things wrong and I changed my perception, which I once held.
I think that's fair.
So pat on the back to me for that first.
Pat on the back to Joshy.
Now go ahead.
Now you can bury him.
The old qualifier.
I think that this is going the way it is, and the reason the Jets are so strong in getting the state-sponsored media out through Diana Rossini, which is clearly getting this through Joe Douglas, because who else?
Come on, John.
Who else? Or somebody high up, because Aaron doesn't like her. We know that already. So where's that information coming from with all this information? What
my sources say they went out for a drink and made up, and now Diana is getting the reports from Aaron.
What is the reason to be talking about this through a couple weeks in the offseason the way they are? What are they trying to prove to us and explain to us that we need to know right now? Because we haven't seen them play a real snap yet. We haven't seen them do anything besides Aaron Rodgers run around, get hurt, take a veteran's rest day. I do
think there's an element, Joshy, of like when you haven't eaten for 2 days and you have that Arby's sandwich, it tastes like the greatest thing in the world. When you're full, you look at that Arby's sandwich and you're absolutely disgusted, right? I think that there's like, they haven't had just legitimately an adult there in a while. So I think like the simple things that many teams would take for granted for the Jets is like, oh my God. Like we have an adult in the room.
I do think there's an aspect of this where everything is going to be the best relationship ever. This is the greatest thing we've ever seen. Aaron Rodgers is the best. But as soon as those fingers go from outward to inward and start looking at Aaron Rodgers, that's where real problems happen. Because I don't think, as you've seen every member of the media be as congratulatory in New York of Aaron Rodgers as humanly possible, once that stops happening, once they lose some games they should be winning, we'll see how Aaron Rodgers acts and how that leadership that everyone's talking about, accountability, plays through with the team with a lot of big personalities.
And when we see Jordan Love throw interceptions and grow this year, we'll see how much Packer fans miss Aaron Rodgers.
Chris in Middleton says it's the offseason. Everybody's undefeated. Everything that's being said is positive. Let's see what he's saying and doing in early December. 800-990 ESPN, 800-990-3776. 1-0 next. Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You think that you sound
Why are
cool
we still
and
talking
elitist?
about this? I thought you were going to build me up.
But you make it so damn hard.
Scalzo and Brust, available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
We have an accident now on northbound on the Rock Freeway heading into the Hale Interchange, right just north of Layton Avenue there. The right lane is blocked, so it's causing some delays heading through that area coming up from Highway 100 on the Rock Freeway. Westbound on 894, heavy out of the Mitchell Interchange, pretty much solid all the way past 68th Street. There is a broken down vehicle off on the right shoulder, adding to the complications. Westbound 94, solid out of the Marquette Interchange all the way to about Mitchell Boulevard as everybody's trying to get to the game. Traffic is brought to you by Evans Transportation in Brookfield, where they provide customized logistics solutions to keep you and your business moving forward. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Mainly clear, a low of 45. Tomorrow, sunny skies, a high of 61 at the lakefront, 68 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. And you know, there's more to being a local Wisconsin bank than perfectly pronouncing Oconomowoc or Waukesha. Or is it Waukesha? But rest assured, at Great Midwest Bank, we understand the local community and economy because we're a part of it. At GMB, we provide customized lending products that others just can't offer. Experience a hometown banking difference. Head to greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
All Brewers games are on sale now, including a Memorial Day weekend showdown with the Giants, Thursday, May 25th through Sunday, the 28th. Start the long weekend right at Aloha Friday on the 26th and get a Brewers Hawaiian shirt with a special ticket package. Then take home a Christian Yelich patriotic jersey giveaway on Saturday, the 27th, presented by Chevrolet. Get your seats at Brewers.com.
The only diamond more valuable than colorless
is the diamond that is colorful. Pink, yellow, and blue.
In 2016, Christie's auction house sold a 14-karat blue diamond for $56 million.
That's $4 million a carat.
In 2022, Sotheby's auction house sold an 11-karat pink diamond for $57 million.
That's more than $5 million a carat.
These diamonds were born when the Earth was born.
They come from the heart of the Earth.
But now there are also pink, yellow, and blue diamonds that were born when you were falling in love.
These created diamonds come from the fiery heart of a miniature sun blazing inside a plasma chamber. Hot, hot, hot.
Pink, yellow, and blue.
Your colorful 1-carat wonder awaits you for $12,000 or less.
Your colorful 3/4 carat miracle awaits you for $8,000 or less.
Get them while you can. Welcome to Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
The Celtics stayed off elimination in Game 4.
Tatum right wing in the front court, behind the back dribble, puts up a three against Vincent, and he drills it. Tatum gives the Celtics their largest lead.
Tonight, they're back in Miami, hoping to put pressure back on the Heat.
Our guys really want this, but Boston has something to say about it as well, just like we do.
Our coverage tips off at 7 o'clock right here on 94.5 ESPN. The NBA on ESPN Milwaukee is sponsored by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse? Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon. Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
It's Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
Scalzo and Brust! Presented by Michelob Ultra on a Grateful Dead Thursday. Ben Brust, Greg Scalzo, Josh DiMaggio, you, the Scalzo and Brust family. We are presented by Michelob Ultra. There's a common misbelief today that to make it further, you need to push yourself, that you need to give up any joy to continue with your rigid routine, or you could try it another way. Take some time to enjoy life, like having a Michelob Ultra with friends. There's nothing better, because happiness is essential to living an exceptional life. Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Michelob Ultra, it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Joshy, let's do a little wonders here.
Are you a 1 or a 0? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Are you a yes or a no?
There's no such thing as a gray area. Life is binary. It's just a 1 or a 0.
Ben Brust, Greg Scalzo, your contestants for 1 or 0. Josh DiMaggio, your host. Yes, that's the question. We say 1 for yes, 0 for no. There is no gray area. Joshy, take it away.
A principal in North Carolina is under fire after handing over keys to the school to students to pull off a senior prank. The prank resulted in major destruction, including greased floors, door handles, potted plants and toilets, stacked desks, and scattered teachers' belongings. 1 or 0. Trashing the school counts as a prank.
So, I mean, the answer is 0 here. Like if you're gonna screw up the school, you're a big jerk. I have a confession. I don't think I ever did a senior prank.
I mean, you didn't need to confess that. Everybody in the audience knew.
There probably was, and I wasn't invited to be a part of it.
I don't even think like our senior class did a massive prank. Like at that point, it was such a hot thing from like all the school systems that like if you did it, you weren't going to graduate, you weren't going to walk, like all this stuff. So no, I mean, it's a dumb thing. Like 1, yeah, it does count as a senior prank. It's, I don't know. It's like
you didn't do anything.
It's a sign of adulthood that like, I guess I don't even find it that funny to just like grease all the floors and do all of that. It just kind of is a pain for a lot of people, and you're like kind of being a Richard to like the janitor and the people who are going to pick it up and the custodial staff. There's got to be funnier pranks and things that you could do like in a meaningful way.
Like Josh, you had a senior prank.
No, we got threatened with the same thing. I believe at my school, it was prior to my time, but somebody disassembled and reassembled an entire car in the middle of the lunchroom.
We had a previous class to us had dropped like rodents throughout the school and like released them in there.
I actually just remembered what our senior prank was, and it wasn't even a prank. The school had a pool, and everyone was just supposed to jump in the pool and have some fun.
Sounds so
I almost
right.
forgot my senior year, I had nothing to do with this. I want this on the record. Somebody salted the football field in the shape of a portion of the male anatomy that was very large, stretched across the entire field, and could be seen. You know how the Fox News, Fox 6,
I love that.
Does the helicopter? That would be seen for years after that because of that prank, but I don't think anyone ever got in
What is
trouble
my
for
wee-wee
that.
doing right now?
That was Ben Brust who wanted that one there.
I think, like, if you're the school principal, instead of handing over the keys, like, what they should do, this might sound lame. Maybe it's going to be lame.
Uh-oh.
Like, the senior, like, they should just give a full reign to the seniors to, like, roast the teachers.
No.
Just like you can't get in trouble.
No.
Say whatever you want, hour long, and you could destroy it.
No, there's already horrible scenes in classes of kids
Get off
disrespecting
TikTok.
teachers.
Get off TikTok, dude.
I'm off TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you could
Maybe
do
I'm
it.
wrong.
You could do it in a way. You could put a few kids and then just make it appropriate. Have it looked over by somebody the kids trust.
There's a shortage of teachers right now because kids are jerks.
Yeah, but people.
Yeah, but making fun of a teacher is different than, like, assaulting them, which is what you're talking about. Those viral clips that go like,
if you do an imitation of a thing a teacher says all the time, people will laugh.
Yeah, we used to make fun of Bo Ryan a lot.
Slowly but surely, people seem to be aligning themselves with Greg Scalzo regarding Michael Block, especially after he said he would be the best golfer in the world if he had Rory's length off the tee, 1-0. Michael Block would be a top 100 golfer with Rory's length off the tee.
The answer is 0, and this is ridiculous. You know who the most famous golfer in the world is?
Tiger Woods.
He does not get as much coverage as Michael Block is getting in this bleep crap tournament going on above you, Greg. He's +4. He's tied for 119th. Every other hit is Michael, whatever his name is, Block. I'm so proud that you are my co-host because you nailed this take. He stinks. He stinks. He flat out stinks. We celebrated a loser, and I fell for it. I was dumb brain.
Well, here's the thing: it was just overcovered. Like, it's a nice story. It should have been the 4th or 5th story told on the broadcast, not the first. And then it hits social, and everybody, it becomes the thing that people talk about. And meanwhile, the story should have been Brooks Koepka and the LIV guys, and the fact that you had a LIV golfer win the PGA Championship and stand next to the PGA Commissioner while receiving a trophy. A guy who's won, his 6th major?
Golf is soft. Golf fans are such softies. They'll cry about anything.
Yeah.
A hospital in Western Germany expressed regret this week after information emerged one of the hospital's surgeons used a janitor to assist in a toe amputation. When the patient became restless, the surgeon asked the janitor to hold the man's leg and pass surgical instruments because the surgeon had no other help. 1-0. You would help a surgeon with a toe amputation if asked.
And quite frankly, I think this is A-okay. It's not like the janitor was amputating the toe. He's holding the person's leg and handing him an instrument. Like, am I missing something?
I think it'd be sick to watch a toe amputated.
To me, this is anti-janitorial. Like, if you had just said there was like a med student that did it, people wouldn't have an issue with it. If you had just said there was like the president of the hospital did it, people wouldn't have an issue. You say janitor, and people are like, like the guy's incapable of holding a leg and passing an instrument. Now, if he was the one amputating the toe, I could understand the issue.
Well, some people get a little queasy around medical stuff, like myself. I'm scared of medical things. I don't like seeing blood on other people.
But clearly, this janitor didn't have an issue. People have an issue that the janitor did it. I don't think the janitor was complaining. I would help his surgeon with a toe amputation if asked, but I would prefer any other amputation because I don't like feet.
What if it was my toe? Life or death. You need to save my life. You got to be the guy to amputate it.
Me amputate it?
Yeah, you.
If it's to save your life, I would do it. I also think that your toes deserve to be amputated, so I feel like it's the right direction to go in.
Just so you know, these cameras are going to see my toe eventually.
Not while I'm here.
Homer? Tomorrow? I think you'd be interested in my toe.
1-0. The pinky toe
We do this for the fans, Ben. We do this for the Scalzo family.
I think the fans would get a kick out of seeing how nasty my toe is.
We'll poll it on Twitter at Scalzo and Brust. Do you want to see Ben Brust's disgusting feet?
Can we just do a peek behind the curtain here? We have pre-show meetings where we discuss what's going on, and Ben fought for his toe appearing on the stream harder than he's fought for any topic on this
I
radio
had
show
2
in
toenails
history.
fall off last night after basketball.
And it's not because his feet look good. He got a manicure. It's because they're disgusting.
It's so impressive how disgusting it is that, like, I think people would enjoy how disgusting it is. Like, it reaches a whole nother level of anything anyone's seen. It's otherworldly.
But this is like, you're somebody who gets grossed out by this stuff. The only reason why you think it's interesting is because it's you.
No.
It's like the guy
Someone
who
else showed me his nasty feet, and I was like, oh, I love that. I can relate to that.
I think we got a foot guy on our hands.
You're awfully obsessed with feet.
Jonathan Brust, brother, anti-feet. Very much in Greg Scalzo's camp.
I mean, yeah, dude, you're talking about your toenails.
I don't know why people are so grossed out by feet. What's wrong with feet?
They are, to me, the most disgusting part of one's body.
Nah, I love them. I love my feet.
A lot of people have foot fetishes. And like,
You
that's
might
okay.
be able
I'm not judging.
We're not. We've been on the record. Scalzo
Did I judge whatsoever?
No, I know. I'm just saying. I just want to be on the record. We're pro fetish.
I don't know if we're pro fetish.
We're anti fetish shaming.
Correct.
Anti kink shaming.
Kink shaming. That's what
Correct.
it is.
Thank
I
you,
knew we'd
Josh.
get to the bottom of it.
800-990-3776. We got to the bottom of something there. Again, 800-990-ESPN on Twitter.
It wasn't the
Scalzo and
fungus
Brust.
in my toe.
That is correct. We will post a poll up there. Speaking of, I saw a poll from our friends at Rutledge in Hamilton on
Very
Twitter at Matt and Jim, or Jim and Matt. On Twitter at Jim and Matt.
Yeah.
That was asking who's bigger sex symbol in the state of Wisconsin, because yesterday we polled it, right? Of who is more popular,
more famous,
Ben Brust or Matt Hamilton. Ben Brust won 52-48, I believe, right? That was the final count.
I'm going to it right now, 52-48.
Rutledge and Hamilton with a rebuttal poll earlier today on their show, which you can hear 2-4 on 100.5 ESPN Madison, said who's a bigger sex symbol in the Wisconsin sports world. We'll tell you what the fans had to say next. It's Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
How many compartments does a cow's stomach have?
4.
Scalzo and Brust.
What's amazing is that people are still accusing you of cheating.
How? I would cheat to win.
Because
not cheat to lose.
Because the 4 compartments in a cow's stomach.
Because there's 4 little things that you get milk.
This is why people think that you
Scalzo and Brust. Available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Jeff Levering and wife Ashley love their new patio door from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
It's like having a brand new kitchen. It's so bright, it's so clear. I can see the kids outside playing.
I love the roll screen. The fact that the screen is on the inside, no drafts. It's a game changer.
Get 0% interest for up to 48 months at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and have everything installed in as little as a day. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Offer ends 5/31/2023.
Magoo's on the Mound is your game day headquarters. Located on 59th and Blue Mound, just minutes from the ballpark. Magoo's has food options for everyone and a vast selection of craft beers and cocktails. Enjoy some drinks and watch all the games with your buds. Or stay entertained with pool, darts, trivia, poker, or live music. Plus, Magoo's on the Mound offers plenty of free parking and shuttles to all home games for the crew. Check out their food and drink menu as well as upcoming events at magoos.biz. That's magoos.biz.
Football guy.
I don't care how irritated you are that Jesse did that. The fact that it led to your imitation of me is more than sufficient payoff.
Football guy.
It's you.
Coming at it from different views.
Girl, I didn't know that I did that, but I guess I do.
Go to the grocery store. We'll stop at Fleet Farm.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. And available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Greg Scalzo for Smart Spaces. How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
The technology frustrations we hear about, hands down, ease of use. We take that complexity out of it and keep it down to the bare minimum of what they need and what they use. Our goal is to lend a level of simplicity that any knowledge level can walk into that room and at a glance know exactly how to turn that room on and utilize all of its features.
Let Smart Spaces transform your business today. Visit smartspaceswi.com.
Wisconsin's own Gruber Offices. One call, that's all.
Steinhaffel's biggest Memorial Day sale is happening now. Get a Ninja 7-in-1 Master Grill with your purchase of $49.99 or more. Then take an extra $100 off your purchase of $19.99 or more. Take an extra 15% off our already reduced clearance center prices. Plus, with Steinhaffel's special 72-month financing, your new room just got even more affordable. The Memorial Day sales event, only at Steinhaffel's and steinhaffels.com.
Watch PGA Tour champions, including tournament host and Wisconsin native Steve Stricker, at the American Family Insurance Championship when it returns to University Ridge Golf Course in Madison, Friday, June 9th through Sunday, June 11th. AmFam Champ Week will also include an exciting concert featuring Tyler Hubbard of Florida Georgia Line, Friday, June 9th. Proceeds will support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and the American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com. That's amfamchampionship.com.
What is dedication?
People ask how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
I was born in the desert, raised in the lion's den. I was born in the desert, raised in the lion's den. You see my number one
On Twitter at Scalzo and Brust, on Twitter at Jim and Matt. The Rutledge and Hamilton folks.
2 to 4, ESPN Madison.
Sorry, I just saw the picture that was posted by the official, unofficial Hawaiian correspondent of the Scalzo and Brust family, Tom Linder. But I feel like we haven't heard from Tom in a while. Posted a horrible picture of Ben with a very horrible mustache.
Hey, I gave it a chance. It didn't work for me.
You look like an entirely different person in that picture.
It did make me wonder, Tom's just got that on his phone?
It's amazing.
He probably just searched mustache and Epen Brust.
The poll posted and why that picture was posted is who is a bigger sex symbol in the Wisconsin sports world, Matt Hamilton or Ben Brust? Hamilton beating you 85 to 15%. Just an absolute drubbing. Matt Hamilton declared a larger sex symbol than Ben Brust nearly unanimously.
Yeah. Cool. The guy who has to try hard because he plays a lame sport to be like somebody who's cool, has long hair, he has to wear the cool shoes. Like he's a try-hard sex symbol. Like, I'm naturally sexy. He's not naturally sexy. He had to build his sexuality around the hair, around the tattoos, around the shoes and the outfits, and look at me. I walk around and people know I'm a good-looking guy. He's not actually good-looking. They just like saying he's a sex symbol because he's gross-looking.
I mean, that was a little bit mean at the
end. You seem to attack the person who had nothing to do with the results of the poll.
I mean,
He had everything to do with it.
Except for existing.
I'll agree with you on a couple things. One, I think you are the more classically, good-looking, handsome one of the two. But I do think that Hamilton has more sexiness to him, right? And it is the vibe, it is the attitude, it is the hair, it's the tats, it's the
so try hard.
But what do you mean by try hard?
Taking him
I mean,
out?
people are falling for the bit of Look at my voice and my long hair. I'm a curler. Yeah.
We've talked about it in NFL coaches before. Like, LaFleur's better looking than Kingsbury, but Kingsbury's way sexier than LaFleur is. Like, some people just have that swag. He has it. You don't.
I have the swag. I just don't put it out to the public.
I don't think I would classify you as sexy, Ben. Like, you're a very good-looking guy. You're handsome.
Do I make you horny, baby?
See, like that right there?
Your reference.
It's more corny than it is sexy. And, like, that's okay. Like,
I'm corny. I know it.
Like, you can lean into the fact that, like, you're a traditionally good-looking man. And I think that's good. Like, if I had to choose one or the other, I'd probably choose that over just, like, pure sexiness.
Heck yeah.
But at the same time, like, you don't have that sexiness as part of your aura.
You're choosing me. I choose you too.
This is without a doubt the most unlikable Ben Brust has ever been.
Is it?
Really?
You should
I've
have
had a lot of unlikable moments.
A tip for next time.
Okay.
If their F6 appeal ever comes up again. And
compliment Matt Hamilton? It'll make myself sound sexier?
Don't tell everyone that you think of yourself as more attractive. Let Greg do that. You knew Greg was going to go there. You come off a lot better if you don't say it about yourself, because nobody likes the person who walks around calling themselves attractive.
He's not wrong.
I mean, I got a lot of confidence.
It's interesting because Ron in the Key says Ben is too insecure to be sexy.
What? I'm so secure.
Totally.
Losing that pole 85-15 has nothing to do with me like freaking out and telling everyone how sexy I am.
Do you think it has anything to do with the nipples?
Oh, I got hard nips.
The little baby thumbs you've got there.
No, they're not babies.
Baby thumb.
They're just always hard. Hot or cold, they're always hard. It's weird.
715.
That's what she said.
715 chimes in and says Ben's mustache gives directions instead of rides. Teddy from Watertown says if hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Voice text?
Must be. I kind of understand what he's going there.
Yeah.
But, basically saying that even, like, you're saying he's a try-hard, but, like, it's working for him.
Yeah. If I tried, I'd be sexier.
Do you think so?
I do, actually.
What would you do? Like, how would you make Ben Brust sexier?
Like, how would I make me super sexy? I would definitely get a fashion consultant and change my wardrobe.
But that's having somebody else make you sexy.
But that's me doing something about it.
I guess, but Matt Hamilton doesn't have a fashion consultant. He uses his own brain to figure out what makes him sexy.
I'd cut out a little bit more of the booze and focus on the abs and like become like a chiseled model look.
But that's not the sexy. You're missing it. Like Hamilton is not chiseled sexy model.
I could be the chiseled sexy model in comparison to his not try hard, like his like long hair look sexy. I'm spiraling.
I thought
he's sexier than me. It sucks.
I thought
it doesn't though. Like what? What does it matter?
I want to be sexy.
It's so interesting. You're sexy in your own way. You're a very good looking guy. How am I now complimenting him and showering with compliments?
I'm refusing. You're a very good looking guy. You're sexy.
You just don't have that in your bag. You've got a lot in your bag. That's
not one of them.
You can't. Nobody has everything in their bag. There's not a single person on earth. Tom Brady's the closest one that has everything in their bag. And still, Tom Brady, like, I could still find ways to criticize Tom Brady in terms
of plastic surgery.
Well, that and the whole kissing his like 12-year-old son on the mouth thing was a little weird.
Tom Crean did that. Very weird.
Josh is so scared right now.
Why?
I'm not scared of anything.
Am I not allowed to say that? You gave me a look like, what are you doing?
No, I'm just more amazed by when given the opportunity to be more sexy, he didn't say, like, get tattoos.
Yeah, I guess I don't know how to be sexy.
Change up my hairstyle. It was like, maybe I'll pay someone, and then I'll become more conventional.
The fact that you don't know how to dress yourself goes right to the core of what you're missing. And, like, again, you lean into your strengths, which is great. I don't think that you need to like get better in those areas. You've done a great job with everything that you have.
I'm okay moving on from the sexy conversation because I feel like I'm losing.
I kind of want Hamilton to call in on this, but maybe that's a bad. Maybe that's a bad decision.
I hope he didn't hear what Ben said about it.
I hope he did.
Hamilton, if you're listening, call in. No way he is. Thursday, Memorial Day weekend.
He doesn't work.
5 o'clock.
I guess he did today.
When he's not working, he's curling.
No, he's not.
What do you think he is? What do you think he's doing?
Not curling.
Huh?
I mean, if he was not on the show in curling, then maybe he wouldn't have got 4th in the Olympics.
800-990-3776. Call in, text in if you want. John in the 414 says, a stronger hair game could help Ben.
What was that?
A stronger hair game could help Ben.
Totally agree. Totally agree. I got bad hair. It's thin. It's hard to make cool.
Steven Milwaukee says humility is sexy.
I agree. And that's probably the biggest thing I got going for me in the sexy category.
God. We'll be back in 2 minutes. It's Scalzo and Brust presented by Mick Ultra.
We have an accident now on northbound on the Rock Freeway heading into the Hale Interchange, right just north of Layton Avenue there. The right lane is blocked, so it's causing some delays heading through that area coming up from Highway 100 on the Rock Freeway. Westbound on 894, heavy out of the Mitchell Interchange, pretty much solid all the way past 68th Street. There's a broken down vehicle off on the right shoulder adding to the complications. Westbound 94, solid out of the Marquette Interchange all the way to about Mitchell Boulevard as everybody's trying to get to the game. Traffic is brought to you by Evans Transportation in Brookfield, where they provide customized logistics solutions to keep you and your business moving forward. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mainly clear, a low of 45. Tomorrow, sunny skies, a high of 61 at the lakefront, 68 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a must-play every golf season. Wild Rock Golf features championship golf in the heart of Wisconsin. Wild Rock, a Herdston Fry masterpiece that's cut from the natural beauty of the Wisconsin Dells and offers stunning views from elevated tee boxes. Wild Rock presents spectacular greens that roll fast and true. Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a unique gem that offers a challenge to avid golfers of all abilities. Book your tee time today for this must-play at wildrockgolf.com. WildRockGolf.com.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust for Road America. Make the most out of your summer at Elkhart Lakes Road America. June is jam-packed with non-stop racing action. Don't miss a minute of the fun. Camp on site all weekend long and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under. Up next is Moto America's Superbike Series and Vintage Moto Fest weekend, June 2nd through the 4th. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Road America, America's national park of speed.
Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith here. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue.
It's a party, baby.
This is Scalzo and Brust. Woo! Presented by Michelob Ultra.
It's a party, baby.
On 94.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
It's a party, baby. Woo! It's a party, baby.
Scalzo and Brust, presented by the world's greatest beer, Bud Light. 800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-ESPN. Twitter, at Scalzo and Brust. What would be better for Aaron Rodgers' legacy? A second Super Bowl with the Packers or Jets' first Super Bowl since 1969?
Nice.
It's 100 million% the Jets. And also to
47% of the Scalzo and Brust family agree with you. 53% do not.
What? I mean, he had opportunities. In the front office, and Rodgers were not able to put together a roster capable, other than 2020, in my opinion, of winning the Super Bowl. I don't think 2021 roster was that good either. Did they flop against the Niners? Yes. Didn't feel like a Super Bowl winning team. Now, what I will say is if Rodgers wins the Super Bowl with the Jets, that's doing it in spite of everything that Goody and him never agreed on, right? It never felt good in Green Bay with that relationship, which is hard to win at such a high level if you're not in lockstep with your GM and the president and I won't say head coach because it seemed like it was good enough, even though, he kind of took a subliminal shot when he called Robert Saleh an alpha.
Very much.
But from right now, all accounts, where we stand right now, players have bought in, general management, head coach, president, and Woody Johnson, right? Like, so if he wins it and shows that with an all-in from an organizational mindset from president to fans, everywhere in between, that's pretty impactful to me. It just shows that, like, look, he was able to do it in spite of what they weren't able to give him in Green Bay.
Yeah, I tend to agree as well. And I think another part of it, too, is like when you go to the Jets and you do it, obviously we're doing a radio show in Wisconsin, right? And so the thought is, well, the Packers, that championship means more than others. Him winning that first championship in New York for over, 40 years is akin to what Favre did in the 90s after the Packers went through the 70s and 80s. And that's why Favre was heralded the way that he was, in a way that Aaron was never going to be able to be, in addition to a few other reasons. But, like, I think that what kind of icon he would be in the biggest city in the country after having that happen, combined with the icon he would be in maybe the most historic football market in the country, all of a sudden would elevate him to a place that very few are.
In a weird way, a championship with the Jets will help Packer fans appreciate Aaron Rodgers more.
No, I disagree with you on that.
Really?
Yeah, I think a championship with the Jets would make Packers fans despise him more.
I think it would show that the Green Bay Packers front office did not do a good enough job of putting the right...
Really? You think the Packers fans would take that approach? They would come.
You're right.
They would be like, man, if Rodgers was at OTAs like he was with the Jets, he would have won a Super Bowl in Green Bay.
It would just prove how much of a crap that is.
No, because he's at OTAs with the Jets.
I was going to say it would further the straw man argument of if he was there with rookie wide receivers, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, they would have won the Super Bowl.
Corey in South Milwaukee actually agrees with Ben on this one. Says the Pack may not have done enough to help him win, and if he wins one in the next 2 years with the Jets, he will be a big hero, but also would make the Packers look at fault for not giving him weapons. Now, there's probably a contingent of the Packer fans that would feel that way, but there also would be a lot of blame still heaped on Rodgers. Like, oh, so you play well in the playoffs for the Jets? You didn't play well for the playoffs for the Packers?
I contend that folks north of the Mikowski line who live from the 70s and 80s and have the perspective would appreciate the fact of what Aaron Rodgers is bringing to the Jets is similar to what that Favre brought to those fans. And so it'd probably be the spoiled Josh DiMaggio's, all the south of the Mikowski line, who only know Favre and Rodgers era, would not appreciate what Aaron Rodgers is doing for the Jets.
A Mikowski line split. Interesting.
I think it's all made up in Ben's head.
Oh, because it doesn't fit Josh's narrative.
Ben is somebody who is also south of the Mikowski line, taking
but I have
the position.
Good perspective.
Yeah, after we listened to you talk about how attractive you were,
that has nothing to do.
The perspective was oozing out of your pores earlier today. I don't think. I mean, it's going to be simple. If you thought Aaron Rodgers should stay, and the Packers should have kept him and done everything to keep him, they're going to be happy he won a Super Bowl because it's going to stick it to Goody. If you thought it was time to move on, and thought Aaron Rodgers was done, you're going to be furious and find reasons to point out why he won a Super Bowl that he couldn't win in Green Bay for the past decade.
I just like to think we've built a show out of accountability. And if you are wrong about Aaron Rodgers and wanting to move on from him and he wins a Super Bowl, all you got to do is say, I was wrong, pat on the back to me, we give you a round of applause, and then you're free to live your real truth.
Speaking of accountability, Benny, tell us about Matty from the Princeton Club, how he holds you accountable as your personal trainer.
So he wasn't feeling well today, so we didn't get it done today. But he texted me.
Weak sauce, Matty.
But he texted me and said, I will squeeze you in tomorrow. Let's make this work an hour earlier than we normally do. And you know what? I was like, the fact that he wasn't feeling good made sure that I was going to get it in twice this week, like we normally do. That to me was a bigger moment, for my growth and why I love going to the Princeton Club. It's a community. It's an atmosphere that I love. It's made me better a year later doing my personal training. Find your passion. Workout classes, basketball. Madison East has a new area that's growing in strength and conditioning, sprinter track. They have it in New Berlin. So many different clubs. Find your passion at the Princeton Club and find your better tomorrow.
Caller 6, caller 9, 800-990-ESPN at 800-990-3776. Over under par coming up next. Caller 6, Josh is going to give you his category. We don't know what it is. He'll also give you an over-under line of correct answers. Ben and I will get out of 10 guesses within 3 minutes. Not sure what that is either, but you'll learn both. You say over-under depending on how much you believe in us. Caller number 9, you're stuck on the other side. Winner wins a foursome to the beautiful Wild Rock Golf Course in the Wisconsin Dells. Caller 6, caller 9. Wild Rock Golf Course, over under par coming up next. It is Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
Ron of the Key says CGL can't grow league? That's mean, Ron.
Ron, too far.
Now we're taking out my height.
I'm not. Ron did. I got your back.
You are choosing what to read.
Hey, for the rest of the show, you can be 6'1".
6'1" Ben Brust. Round of applause, Joshy. Just grew an eighth of an inch. See, this is how we build you back up physically and mentally and spiritually.
You guys are just absolutely gems at this.
Scalzo and Brust. Available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Still kind of a brutal ride out there right now. Northbound on the Rock Freeway, we had an accident just before the Hale interchange. That one's gotten cleared, though we do still have delays through there. Also slow from 894 southbound from Greenfield all the way down and around the Hale interchange onto 894 eastbound. Going to be pretty solid. We've also got an accident on 4394 northbound just north of Holt Avenue. Looks like the left lane is blocked. We've got some cars on the right. We had some debris in the road. So this is just making for a big old headache. You've basically got delays coming out of the Plainfield curve all the way up past Oklahoma Avenue. Southbound on 4394, everybody's got to slow down to take a look, so it's backed up all the way into the Marquette. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mainly clear, a low of 45. Tomorrow, sunny skies, a high of 61 at the lake, 68 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Wisconsin Harley-Davidson is ready for summer. Are you? Join Wisconsin Harley-Davidson on May 27th for their annual honor celebration from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Enjoy a ride to place flags at the Wisconsin Memorial Cemetery and return back for a day of honoring our veterans. Not a rider? That is okay. Wisconsin Harley-Davidson will have music, food, and so much more. Like and follow Wisconsin Harley-Davidson on Facebook, Instagram, and online at wishd.com. Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, your destination dealer.
From big tailgate parties to cozy dinners for two, the freshest ideas start with a stop at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 6-pack 0.5-liter bottles or 6-pack 7.5-ounce mini cans Coke products, 4 for $17. 32-ounce box Cremette pasta, 2 for $5. 13.1 to 16-ounce meals or 15-ounce bowls Hungry Man meals or dinner bowls, 2 for $7. 5 to 8-ounce package Sargento deli-style sliced cheese, 2 for $5.
Hey, why'd you throw my glass across the room?
I have to keep practicing.
The vase from Aunt Sophie?
I'm warming up in case I get to take them out at American Family Field. Read this.
Win the ultimate baseball fan experience at Century Foods?
You either get to throw out the first pitch, hold the finish line for the famous racing sausages, or be on the field during batting practice. My new TV!
Just doing a little batting practice of my own.
The ultimate baseball fan experience from Century Foods. Return the entry form found in the weekly ad to any Century by July 26th.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, Milwaukee, Ewald Automotive's best used car selection just got better. Now introducing Ewald's best certified used cars. Every vehicle undergoes a comprehensive inspection, includes a free Carfax vehicle history report, a 3-day, 300-mile exchange policy, and even includes an exclusive 1-year limited powertrain warranty. Shop over 400 exclusive certified used cars today. It's just another way we make it easy.
Go to ewaldauto.com.
It's Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
Grateful Dead Thursday on Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. Ben Brust, Greg Scalzo. You, the Scalzo and Brust family. Calling, texting. Twitter at Scalzo and Brust. But it is Tuesday, it's Thursday. It's time to play a little over-under.
Will the guys hit the under, or will they tap dance on Joshy's grave? It's time for Over Under Par on Scalzo and Brust. Presented by Wild Rock Golf Club. Now open for the 2023 season. Go to wildrockgolf.com and make a tee time today.
Here's how the game works. Josh DiMaggio's got a category. We don't know what it is. He's applied an over-under line for the amount of correct answers Ben and I will get out of 10 guesses within 3 minutes. We don't know what that is either. However, caller number 6, Jack in Glendale, heard both of them, and he said, you know what? I believe in my guys. I'm taking the over. Caller number 9, John in Madison, stuck on the other side. He's on the under. Winner wins 4 passes to the Wild Rock Golf Course. Joshy, what do we got this week?
This one's a bit verbose, but it's the 10 NFL teams with the longest playoff win drought. The longest time without winning a playoff game. The over-under is 6.5.
You know what, Josh? I think that's a fair over-under.
I do too.
Sometimes I feel like you're out to get us. Sometimes I'm like, he's underestimating us. This one I feel like is right on.
I'm fair and balanced right down the middle.
You do your best. It's not always fair and balanced. You don't know what we know. Like, there's times where sometimes you give me an over-under, I'm like, we're going to crush that. It's not always against us.
I think Josh sucks no matter what.
Thank you, Ben. I'm going to start the clock in 3, 2, 1.
Browns?
The New York Jets.
Oh, yeah, Jets.
Final answer.
The New York Jets are 5th on the list.
Did the Browns win a playoff game when they made it with Baker?
With 12 seasons, they last won in 2011.
It's a great question, Ben. I'm not sure if they did.
Let's put them on the side list.
Really? Okay.
I mean, we can think of others.
The Jaguars recently won. The Chargers, they didn't win last year.
No, they did,
Let's go with the Los Angeles, formerly San Diego Chargers. Whoa. Okay.
That's fine. I'll take that L. So, again, same thing here Bears-wise. When they got double doinked against the Eagles, I think they had a bye.
Chicago Bears, final answer.
The Chicago Bears are 6th on the list. They last won in 2011.
That's horrible.
2 minutes.
6th on the list and 11? Okay. We got to get going here. Let's guess the Browns. We've got it in front of us.
Final.
Browns, final answer.
The Browns famously beat the Steelers.
That's what I thought. I hate that.
All right, let's think. Arizona Cardinals. Texans. Texans feel good.
Texans, final answer.
We can't get any more wrong. Falcons.
No, they went to the Super Bowl that long ago.
That's right. Florida teams. What about the Carolina Panthers? That feels like a good guess.
I like but they were in the Super Bowl not that long ago.
The Bears were 6th on the list in 11.
Their last playoff win is in 11. That means teams have been worse than that.
1 minute.
We're struggling right now.
The Commanders?
What about the Dolphins?
Commanders?
Commanders, final answer.
Commanders are 4th on the list. 2006 was our last playoff win.
This is absurd.
Lions?
Miami Dolphins, final answer if you're good with it, Benny.
Sure.
Miami Dolphins, 22 years. They last won in 2001.
That's absurd.
30 seconds.
We got 3 more. I'm just going to throw out team names. Dallas, Tennessee, spur some stuff out of your brain. AFC East.
No, Tennessee won. I don't know, man.
Detroit.
Raiders? Final?
Yeah, Raiders final.
10, 9.
How many more do we need?
8, 7, 6.
Panicking.
5, 4.
Broncos final.
3, 2.
Broncos final.
1.
We were run away.
I'm so confused.
Did the Broncos,
Did the Broncos win a Super Bowl past 2011?
2016. They are 9th on the list. You guys want to hear it? Ben said the right answer, the number 1, about 3 times.
Don't tell me it's the Lions.
Detroit Lions. 31 years since their last playoff win. You guys got Miami, Las Vegas, Washington, New York Jets, Chicago Bears. The teams remaining, another one you guys said. They had won a Super Bowl. The Carolina Panthers, 2016, was their last playoff win. Arizona Cardinals, 2016. Denver Broncos, 2016. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, 2017.
I apologize to Jack and Glendale. Not our best performance. It was a good line, though. It was a good line, right? 6.5.
We actually battled till the end. No moral victories.
Feels good.
Shut the heck up. I don't know what to... Oh, so now you like the music. Get yourself on stream dancing back there. You're boogieing.
I'm actually really bothered.
I know. It's not good when we lose and we lose in a one that we should have won, because then we both don't know how to move forward.
Congratulations, John and Madison. You won 4 passes to the beautiful Wild Rock Golf Course.
And Jack and Glendale, we're personally sorry. We're taking this to heart.
I really am. That's one I should have been better there. The whole Bears 2011 thing, I'll be honest, threw me off so badly.
I thought it was actually going to help you guys and was able to get you to some of those, because the list having been in 2011 really did throw me for a loop. But then I thought you would get to the Panthers.
I think the fact that we got to the Bears where we did hurt us.
Mm-hmm. I agree. If we started with Panthers,
I
which was on my mind,
get Lions.
Lions is bad, man.
I said it a lot.
So every time I do this, what I do is I count the ones that I think are easy.
They were on the easy one.
Yeah, and basically give you guys 2 above what I think are the easy ones. I thought Lions, Commies, Jets, Bears were all easy. And then, Carolina, I know they're the Super Bowl, but I thought the 2011 would help you. Didn't,
because then I was thinking, these are
old.
What do we do now?
Lick your wounds.
We weren't very smart right there, Ben Brust. However, if you want your company space to be smarter, more technologically integrated, and able to perform beautifully across all virtual meeting environments, you should call Smart Spaces. Go to smartspaceswi.com to see how they can help you the same way they helped us here at our new ESPN Milwaukee offices at the 3rd Street Market Hall in downtown Milwaukee. They met with us. They listened with their listen-first culture. They learned our business's needs, and they provided seamless solutions for our office in a way that embedded the technology seamlessly into our aesthetic, into our office space, upholding the culture, and ultimately allowing our team to do what we do best because we don't got to worry about the technology. You walk into a room, you hit one button, boom, you're in a virtual meeting. You have hybrid work environments, you got virtual work environments. It brings it all together for you in a way that makes the journey easy to navigate. See how they can help you. SmartSpacesWI.com. Again, SmartSpacesWI.com. Yesterday, we talked a lot about pressure. Who has more pressure on him? Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love in the upcoming season. A lot of it came down to expectations. We'll explore more of that next. It's Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
Ron in the Key says, you're right, Greg. You don't always have to tell the full truth. Poopy Pants could learn here, too.
I farted in my pants recently. When I say farted, it was more than that.
Scalzo and Brust. Available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Still kind of a brutal ride out there right now. Northbound on the Rock Freeway, we had an accident just before the Hale interchange. That one's gotten cleared, though we do still have delays through there. Also slow from 894 southbound from Greenfield all the way down and around the Hale interchange onto 894 eastbound. Going to be pretty solid. We've also got an accident on 4394 northbound just north of Holt Avenue. Looks like the left lane is blocked. We've got some cars on the right. We had some debris in the road. So this is just making for a big old headache. You've basically got delays coming out of the Plainfield curve all the way up past Oklahoma Avenue. Southbound on 4394, everybody's got to slow down to take a look, so it's backed up all the way into the Marquette. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mainly clear, a low of 45. Tomorrow, sunny skies, a high of 61 at the lake, 68 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Steinhaffel's biggest Memorial Day sale is happening now. Get a Ninja 7-in-1 Master Grill with your purchase of $49.99 or more. Then take an extra $100 off your purchase of $19.99 or more. Take an extra 15% off our already reduced clearance center prices. Plus, with Steinhaffel's special 72-month financing, your new room just got even more affordable. The Memorial Day sales event, only at Steinhaffel's and steinhaffels.com.
Woo! I am thirsty today. Definitely gonna need a cold one. There's the one. Back again with my pal, Peter Gentry, the owner of One Barrel Brewing Company. They're one of my personal favorites and are located here in Wisconsin. Peter's going to give us all the secrets about what makes the Ninja Dust great for summer.
Ninja Dust is an elusive drink, just like the Ninja that you've seen in movies. You want to have that one probably when you're feeling a little more fun, ready to party, maybe ready to go out. What makes Ninja unique is it's really refreshing. Kind of goes with all of our beers. Crushable, easy to drink. Got a little more kick to it, as most IPAs do, but you're not going to get that sort of really bitter West Coast IPA on your tongue, so it's basically a good IPA for everybody to drink.
That's Peter from One Barrel Brewing Company. I'm excited to get my hands on some Ninja Dust this summer. And remember, folks, the fridge is always stocked.
The waves were mighty and fierce as could be when my lady and I got lost at sea. We tossed and turned and we nearly drowned when my brave little boat went down. Whoa, 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 no, none of that's true. You haven't had a date in a year or two. The sea was calm and the sky was clear and you crashed right into the pier.
Yeah, fine. Accidents don't just happen in sea shanties, so Progressive Boat Insurance has you covered. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you can save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms and not available for all boats or in all situations.
Next up, straight talk from Doug. Ever notice that saying no offense is offensive? Like, no offense, but you're overpaying for your wireless. See? Offensive.
That's the Straight Talk talking. Get unlimited plans as low as $35 a month from Straight Talk on America's most reliable 5G network. Available at Walmart and Walmart.com. On the $35 plan, first 10 gigabytes data at high speed, then 2G speeds. Refer to the latest terms at straighttalk.com. Based on most first place rankings, root metrics, second half 2022 assessments of 125 metros. Experiences vary, not an endorsement.
Neil Armstrong waited 6 hours and 39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon. Jackie Robinson waited 20 months to play his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And even DiCaprio had to wait 22 years to win an Oscar. You can wait until your destination. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
ESPN 800-990-3776.
I'm playing the piano right now. Is that even what's happening?
I mean, yeah, generally called a keyboard.
But the noise that's driving this is a guitar.
That's what
Correct.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying in the song?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant what you were doing.
I was playing the piano to a guitar. That's my musical talents right there. Some would say I'm at Dead & Company right now.
I don't even know what to say about Ben Brust right now. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Twitter at Scalzo and Brust. That's where yesterday we posted a poll asking who has more pressure on them heading into next season, the 2023 NFL season. Is it Aaron Rodgers or is it Jordan Love? That's me just searching to find the poll result. 74-26 for Aaron Rodgers, which again is surprising to me. And I think that it is a product of the fact that people are looking at it and saying, well, Aaron, that team is expected to win a Super Bowl. And I think people are conflating the pressure on the team with the pressure on the quarterback. The Jets have more pressure on them as a team than the Packers do. Jordan Love, in my opinion, has more pressure on him as a player than Aaron Rodgers does. I made the case yesterday, and I talked about it, right? To me, Jordan Love is a guy who the Packers traded up in the first round to go and get, signed to a contract extension, basically pushed a Hall of Fame quarterback out the door 2 years removed from a back-to-back, or a year removed from a back-to-back MVP run. He has to prove that he's the next great starting quarterback for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, meanwhile, already is a great quarterback, and he just needs to be great. And if that's a Super Bowl, that's a Super Bowl. But the expectations there are very clear. The expectations for Jordan Love in Green Bay, it seems like Packers fans are trying to run from. And as I was thinking about this pressure conversation.
That's it. I was just going to add the reason why Tausch and the voting is more towards Rodgers is because people are trying to put the lowest amount of expectation towards Jordan Love so they're not disappointed.
Yes, I definitely think that's the case. And I think you could take this and apply it in different areas and take the emotion out of it a little bit, right? Like I did that with Tausch yesterday when I said, who has more pressure on him, the Pro Bowl player getting to another Pro Bowl or the guy who's fighting for a starting position as a starter? And he's like, oh, of course the guy who's fighting for a starter.
Yeah, because if you made a Pro Bowl, you're a pro. I'd say all pro quarterbacks.
Sure. Take it to another industry, right? Who has more pressure on them? Leonardo DiCaprio winning his second Oscar, or the actor who has finally a potential breakout role, who isn't proven as an actor? The obvious answer is that actor has more pressure on them to perform than Leo does trying to win his second Oscar. The pressure of the movie that Leo's in is greater to be great than this new actor, but the pressure on the actor themselves has to be on the guy who needs to prove himself.
That analogy immediately takes me to Jim from The Office. Like if you watch The Office or not watch The Office, like he was not really anybody. He talked about like how he was doing different things, right? Like the stories of all the people waitressing in LA waiting for their breakthrough, right? He wasn't even going to go to the audition to make The Office, and because he went to The Office, he never even thought the show was going to be any good. So once it hit, right, like then he was made. There was pressure for the show to be good. He was nervous about it, but once it hit, he was made. He was never going to be made if it didn't hit. So if you're Steve Carell and The Office flops, you're already still great.
Now, Tausch vehemently disagreed with me on this. Participation trophy Tausch is what we call him here on Scalzo and Brust now. As Michael Block, by the way, is +7 at the Charles Schwab Invitational.
Just give me 30 seconds. They'll give him more camera time than Tiger Woods ever gotten.
But Tausch, who we love, he's our guy, had this to say about his expectation for Jordan Love in the 2023 season.
Jordan Love is an unknown. Jordan Love is an unknown.
And you have zero expectation.
More pressure on someone that's unknown than that someone that has
yes.
all of this stuff on their shoulders to deliver.
Yes.
We don't know what Jordan Love is going to be. The pressure's on Matt LaFleur. The pressure is Jordan Love has pressure. There's pressure on Jordan Love. I'm not trying to act like there's none, but it's not close. They're not even in the same percentiles.
Like, I mean, I'm just, for a guy that grew up rooting for Titletown and played in Titletown, the idea that there's no the expectations is literally for him to breathe and stand under center is wild to me.
That's not what I said.
I mean, it is what you said. I'm not going to lie.
You said the expectation was for him to be starter, and we don't know how good he's going to be.
Yeah, that's the expectations we don't know. What
it's
are
not an expectation, though, Ben. Or Tausch.
Hey.
Bad mix-up by me there. And again, the idea in Tausch, what he said was his expectation for Jordan Love is to be the starting quarterback for the Packers, and who knows how good he's going to be. That's not my expectation for Jordan Love. And I'm a Jordan Love believer. My expectation for Jordan Love is to be the guy. It's to be the guy. Show us enough. I'm not putting it in wins and losses. I'm not putting it in touchdown passes. I'm not putting it in passing yards. I'm putting it in at the end of the year. Everybody between the fans, the coaches, the organization knows this is the guy we're building around for the next 5 years.
If that's not the expectation as a Packer fan, then you're merely on the I already don't believe in him, and we should be searching for Drake May or Caleb Williams in the draft if we get 2 first-round picks and we stink because Jordan Love stinks. There's 2 camps. There's my expectations are that he becomes the guy, or my expectations are he's going to be no good, and the Packers end up with a really good pick to reset this thing.
So I guess I want to ask the family, 800-990-3776. We'll open up the phone lines. Like, what is your expectation of Jordan Love in 2023? 800-990-3776.
The reason why my expectations are so low is because the Packers never
showed... Well, what are they?
Well, they're low. I think he's like 20 touchdowns max and probably 15 interceptions, right around 1-to-1-ish, and maybe so there's gonna be the turnovers of fumbles as well. Just naturally, him being in the pocket as a first-year quarterback, that's just gonna happen. But my expectations are he's not gonna be as great as probably a lot of people want him to be, and the reason why I think that is because the Packers have not given me faith. It took them having to move on from Aaron Rodgers because of lack of communication for them to actually be like Jordan Love's our guy. If they were to end the 8-9 season and have the cojones to say, hey, Aaron, we're moving on from you. Thank you for your service. Obviously say in a different tone than me. And we're going to move on to Jordan Love. Aaron knew that. I mean, they drafted him in 2020. He talked about him throwing a wrench in their plans of moving on from him to Jordan Love, but clearly they wanted to see him. And if the Packers had some confidence, more confidence in Jordan Love, they would have moved on from Rodgers earlier, got more suitors for Rodgers, and moved on earlier. I would have felt good. But the fact that they just sort of fell into their lap of, all right, we're going to end up trading Aaron and we're going in with Jordan Love, and not picking up, you could say all you want about the extension. If they really knew they were sitting with an ace in the hole, they would have picked up the 5th-year option. There's still so much unknowns that I don't have confidence that he's any good.
Josh, what's your expectation for Jordan Love?
You're going to hate this, Greg, but my expectation is that he's probably not going to be any good.
Why am I going to hate that?
Well, because
I disagree with you because I'm a Jordan Love believer.
Yeah, my expectation is he's going to be no good, but I hope that I'm wrong. That's basically where I stand on him. I just don't think what Jordan Love was drafted as at the position, what he showed before that, and what we've seen in the very limited before shows us any indication. I don't want to buy into the Packers team trying to bring us back down to earth and lower our expectations. I think that's self-preservation from a very selfish standpoint from a lot of people on that team to kind of as you said before, I believe a few weeks ago, sort of distance themselves. Like they kind of found themselves in the situation where they have to have Jordan Love as their quarterback. And I don't think they believe in Jordan Love as much either.
So for you, Josh, in the context of he's bad, he's okay, or he's good, rank and order what you're hoping to see.
What I'm hoping to see is good. That's it. And then the next one would be like in very bad. Okay, decent, anything in the middle is QB purgatory. That's nothing. Yeah. You end up having to pay Daniel Jones type of money, and you're still not sure. He might have a few flashes. You might get into the playoffs, but it doesn't really matter.
Or you end up in a place where you're not able to even use the capital you're going to get from the Jets and your own capital to get the heralded quarterback.
I would love
coming.
nothing more than for Jordan Love to be the greatest ever. And I don't think the idea of it's really hard to do it 3 times in a row really carries any weight because they're all individuals. It doesn't matter who came before him.
When you look at it mathematically.
Right.
But I will say...
It is unlikely.
I will just say this, though, that Packers fans haven't had to play those probabilities in 30 years.
Right, of course.
You did. You had to play them once, and it worked out. So if there's a 10% chance that a first-round quarterback hits, probably closer to 5 in terms of a real franchise quarterback, but let's say 10, then the Packers were able to do it back-to-back year, back-to-back between Favre and Rodgers, even though Favre, I know, he was a second-round pick. They traded first, whatever. We can re-legislate that.
I mean, it would be crazy that the idea is Jordan Love is also what was he, 25th, 26th? They traded up from 27 to 2 or 3 spots. He's in that same range, and that also makes the odds and the probability even farther away because we're seeing the quarterbacks right now drafted the first round hit at a higher clip than normal the last 2-3 years, I'd say.
I don't know about that. I think that what we have seen is they're ready quicker.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. My overall point is Jordan Love wasn't drafted in that area.
It's a weird time for quarterbacks in the NFL. Like you say, that year when Baker Mayfield won that playoff game for Cleveland, people were like, oh, this was a hit. 2 years later,
woof.
Kyler Murray got the big contract. People were like, that's a hit. Now it's like, is it? Are they hoping they're really bad this year so that they can be at the top of the draft?
I forget when the coach or GM, the new GM, or I think it was the new coach of the Cardinals, came in and met Kyler Murray. I was like, he dapped him up, but he's probably looking at him like, you better be good because you're gone if you're not.
So it's going to be really interesting to see how the world views Jordan Love throughout this season, how expectations ultimately define whether he is successful or not. If he was a fruit in a fruit salad, Ben, which one would he be?
Jordan Love?
Yeah.
Probably a melon, which is just no taste, no flavor, not much expectations.
It's not a bad answer, actually.
I thought melon, honestly.
Ben Brust,
quick on my feet there.
Ben Brust famously was power ranking fruits in the fruit salad on Twitter today. At Ben Brust, you could find that riveting content. Maybe we'll hit on that next. We'll continue the expectation conversation, continue the pressure conversation. 800-990-3776 on a Friday for many of us, including myself and Joshy DiMaggio. Ben Brust working tomorrow.
Midnight oil, baby. Always working it.
Scalzo and Brust presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
I said, what can I bring in terms of food and drink? And then I was like, I got an idea, the sound bar. But I'm
done with the story. You can just move on. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude.
You don't mean to be rude.
Scalzo and Brust, available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Greg Scalzo here for 3 Tree Marketing, a full-service branded merchandise agency using creative merchandising to share your company's story. It's who we work with here at ESPN Milwaukee. They've really served as an extension of our team. They think outside of the box. So when it comes to experiential, when it comes to the different things that we do from a promotional standpoint, in terms of what we create for our fans, for our teammates, for our partners, we work with 3 Tree because they don't just put a logo on a tchotchke. They work with us, they think about it, and they help with logistics from A to Z. 3treemarketing.com.
The Celtics stayed off elimination in Game 4.
Tatum right wing in the front court, behind the back dribble, puts up a 3 against Vincent, and he drills it. Tatum gives the Celtics their largest lead.
Tonight, they're back in Miami, hoping to put pressure back on the Heat.
Our guys really want this, but Boston has something to say about it as well, just like we do.
Our coverage tips off at 7 o'clock right here on 94.5 ESPN. The NBA on ESPN Milwaukee is sponsored by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point. with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Tua, they have to protect him. You can't allow guys to come scot-free. I don't give a damn if it's line protection, if it's picking up blitzes, that's scot-free. That means somebody's coming to get you. That means you're not protecting the quarterback. And I'm all for doing whatever you need to do to figure out how to protect your quarterback and keep him out of harm's way. Now, I don't know, Max, anything about getting grabbed and then transferring my weight a certain way to stop my head from hitting the ground. I don't know that. I just know playing, as long as I played in the National Football League and taking as many hits as I've taken, when Rodney Harrison is bearing down on you at the safety position and you're running a dig route, I know how to protect myself. But when I got somebody coming scot-free like Quentin Williams because my offensive line whiffed on the block, that means you're coming scot-free. That's what my concern is.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing in me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is everything.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Live life to the fullest. You hear that all the time, but it's easier said than done when you're in pain. Hi, it's Tony Smith. QC Kinetics gives people all around Milwaukee back their quality of life by providing much needed relief from chronic joint pain. And not just providing that relief, but doing it in the most non-invasive way possible using regenerative treatments from your body's own natural biologics. Where's your joint pain? In your knees, your hips, shoulders, or back? QC Kinetics concentrates these impactful treatments right at the source of your pain, directly applying healing properties where you need them most. No surgery, no downtime, no steroids or harmful drugs, and patients are raving about the results. What does living life to the fullest look like for you? Being able to exercise, walking your dog, enjoying time with your family? Whatever it is, don't wait one more day. Call QC Kinetics for your complimentary consultation. 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call now. 414-285-3474.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
The guy who's taken the world by storm, more popular than Tiger Woods, more coverage than Tiger Woods in the Charles Schwab this weekend. Michelob Block. +9. 120th. Not even tied for last.
Ooh.
+6 is tied for 118. He is 3 strokes from second to last.
This is the guy that said this very week that if he had the length that Rory had, he'd be the best golfer in the world.
And the funny thing is, I saw an interview about this course. It's narrow and short. So, driving distance didn't matter for him today.
Brutal. Hate
+9.
to see it, Joshy.
Oh, man.
You hate to see it.
Tausch will probably give him a gold medal still.
Well, he deserves it. 800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-ESPN.
As long as he stands over the ball and breathes on it, he'll be fine.
Ron and the Key, welcome to Scalzo and Brust on a beautiful Grateful Dead Thursday. We're presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Ron, what do you got?
So, gentlemen, speaking of expectations and Grateful Dead, what are you and Joshy's expectations of your boy there 2 Fridays from now? And be honest, have you talked behind his back about what you think it's going to be like?
I don't think we fully talked behind his back on that.
We've strategized.
I think
Thank you for the call.
I actually think we're gonna get Great call. Ben Brust. Once the concert's over, there's zero expectations. If he even shows up after the concert, like
it's a win.
It's a win. But I expect him to be full energy, fun Ben Brust. Concert over. He's done. Josh and I might end up out pretty late that night, but he's doing one night, which is great.
Which may give me an opportunity
to go all in.
Yeah. You 2 night studs. You guys
and
get
it's
after
just
it.
me and Joshy night too.
Yeah.
My expectations are low, not in the way of meaning like as an insult. It's like I think Ben's gonna go have a good time, dance around, and maybe he leaves early. And if he chooses to, that's fine.
I don't think he'll leave early.
Actually, I don't like the way Josh you phrased that.
I'm just
that
thinking,
actually disappointed me.
I'm just thinking
because I'm in a really good mindset for this.
I know you are.
I can tell.
You've been excited for 2 months now.
And what's nice is he doesn't have to plan anything, and he doesn't have to drive anywhere.
Shout out Joshy's girlfriend.
So there's no parking lots. There's no like things that would like stress him out. It's kind of just like along for the ride.
Along for the ride, Benny is one of the best Bennies. When I'm all in.
Yeah, I mean,
if I'm along
I've
for the
never
ride
done
and
this
miserable. Huh.
It's
there's
3 hours.
And there's one thing. Like if there was like, oh, we're golfing all day, and then there's a dinner, and then there's the concert.
Oh yeah.
Trouble City.
No, I wouldn't even make it.
It's just building up. Concert hit, and then like he can go. Now I still think you might end up out.
Do is build into this puny dumb brain that like you guys keep saying I don't expect him to make it out late. That subconsciously will get in this brain, and I want you guys to be like, yeah, he's gonna make it out.
Oh, we'd love that. Like I hope that you do.
I'm rooting for that. Like get that energy out there.
Yeah, we're gonna have a ball. But my point is, when we talk about expectation, like I'm not, because then you set yourself up for disappointment.
That's fair.
You
know,
know,
I've disappointed before,
and so I think just the idea of like, hey, I think through that that end of the show. Like, we're going to get a really fun, happy Benny. I do think we're going to get a lot of questions. I think we're going to get a lot of finger pointing of, like, look at this guy. But as Ben sheepishly asked me, what do I wear to this? This isn't the Grateful Dead in 1974 at Alpine Valley. Like
I'm treating this like it is.
I know, but my point is it's Dead & Company at Wrigley with expensive tickets. It's going to be a lot of older people. There's going to be a lot of quarter zips there. There's going to be a lot of like.
Do people do drugs at this?
Dead & Company? No.
No?
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's clean. They're straight edge.
Very straight edge.
Mark
Lots
Block,
of Michelob Ultras.
Mark Block off the tee at 18 because he's like the featured group for this coverage. Hit it into the weeds, so he's going to end up plus 10 on the day.
He's
82.
Going to end up shooting an. Oh my god!
Just pulled the last one and off that 18.
He needs a WD in the worst way.
Do you think he plays tomorrow?
No.
No, I think he might. He's going to be like, I tweaked my back. You know,
he's already got the exemption for next one.
He needs a Mick Ultra.
He does need a Mick Ultra. All right, real quick, Benny, run us through your fruit power rankings when it comes to a fruit salad.
Pineapple, strawberry, grapes, and apples.
The most basic of the fruit salad fruits.
I don't think it's basic.
Those are the basic fruits.
Okay, what's yours, Mr. You're Basic?
I haven't really put a ton of thought into this. I did just find it fascinating you're scared of the kiwi, though.
Yeah, the fuzzy kiwi really freaks me out. Don't like hairy things.
Cut the kiwi in half, take a spoon, and just dig in.
I also, like, the seeds, the texture, I'm not a fan of that texture as well.
Real heads eat the outside, too.
I know.
I don't do that.
I've heard about that.
Where do you
Those
stand
are
on
complete weirdos?
Where do you stand on mangoes?
Mangoes are good.
Okay.
Big mango guy, big pineapple guy. I like all the berries. Mangoes and pineapples and strawberries, that mix is my favorite smoothie.
I was interested by your decision for blackberry over the other berries.
Oh, blackberry is definitely up there.
Did I change your list that you accidentally changed?
Yeah, well, blackberry and apple were 4 and 5, so like either way.
On
that would
Twitter,
be
at
what I'd add
Scalzo and Brust, do you want to see Ben Brust's feet on the stream? 83-17, no to yes.
Well, tomorrow you're going to get it, folks.
Oh, God. I'm off tomorrow. Josh is off tomorrow. You get Ben Brust and Homer with Chris Larson on the board. Coming up next across all of ESPN Wisconsin, it's Joe and Amber into Celts Heat Eastern Conference Finals.
That earlier accident northbound on 4394 has been taken care of. Right now, we just have some delays reaching out of the Plainfield curve up past that.